Facebook has agreed to a record $5 billion settlement with the FTC over privacy concerns.
Xbox, Twitter, Uber,
Postmates,
Netflix, MoviePass,
Google,
Facebook, eBay,
DoorDash,
Apple, Amazon, Airbnb,
The Apptrepreneur. Hey everyone, this is Kevin the Apptrepreneur, and I've poo-pooed on Facebook a lot recently. This despite the fact that I am still actively promoting the Apptrepreneur Hangouts on Facebook, and now that I have just done that here, I won't do that at the end of the video. Because Facebook is a very love-hate thing for me. I truly do not like what it has become. I don't like how Facebook used to be, hey, you shared cat videos, you made plans with people, you caught up with old acquaintances that you used to. And then it got to this big tribalistic bickering platform where people draw the lines like, if you aren't this politically, you can no longer be my friend. Or if you believe in the big sky creator, you are an idiot. I don't like how all that stuff, or hey, you don't believe in the sky creator, like you're also an idiot, or I don't like the bickering it's become. And then on top of that, when we found out how they were making their money, how Facebook just went above and beyond mining data, and it was all compromised. I don't believe in Russian interference necessarily. Well, not in the way that the Russians actively colluded with Trump. However, I do believe Facebook was used for at least false narratives by people to get people to be confused. Like, there's a bunch of like weird ads and stuff. Information was sold to foreign governments. Facebook is just screwed up quite a bit. And then on top of that, Facebook has their own problems with self-censorship, where they're on this whole track along with other companies like, hey, you know what? If we don't like what you're saying, we're going to shut you down. This is why I don't really like Facebook. And yet, it's a big part of my life. It's a big part of everyone's life. I use it less. I find the less I use it, the happier I am in general. However, we now have an answer to what is going to happen to Facebook, because the FTC has voted to approve a $5 billion settlement with Facebook in privacy probe. So according to this, who did the Washington Post? Yay, Jeff Bezos. The Federal Trade Commission voted this week to approve a roughly $5 billion settlement with Facebook that could end an investigation into its privacy practices. According to a person familiar with the matter, but not authorized to speak on record, a deal that could result in unprecedented government oversight of the company. The settlement, adopted with the FTC's 3 Republicans supported it and 2 Democrats against it, which is interesting, could end a wide-ranging probe into Facebook's mishandling of users' potential information that began more than years ago. Oh wait, no, I guess that's not super. Yeah, it actually kind of makes sense why the Republicans would vote for something that would end a probe into Facebook's mishandling of users' personal information. Not because I believe Republicans are out to get you or anything, but there's that whole Russia thing going on. So yeah, if I were them, I'd probably want that probe to end too. The FTC's $5 billion punishment against Facebook sets a new record as the largest penalty ever assessed against a tech company that broke a past promise to the government to improve its privacy practices. The matter from here rests in the hands of the Justice Department, which typically must finalize FTC settlements, though DOJ rarely has appended them. Facebook warned investors earlier this year it could face an FTC fine as high as $5 billion, which if they were expecting it that high, I think they should have doubled it, but whatever. Wall Street appeared to reward the company for setting aside a large portion of that penalty earlier this year, as the company stock rose almost 2 points following news of the settlement Friday, which, that's interesting. Usually it falls. The FTC declined to comment on the matter. Facebook also declined to comment. The FTC opened its investigation of Facebook in March 2018, responding to reports that the political consultancy Cambridge Analytica improperly accessed personal data of 87 million Facebook users, which critics charge had violated an agreement Facebook brokered with the FTC in 2011 to protect users' privacy. Cambridge Analytica developed a quiz app that harnessed information on those who installed it, as well as their friends, a form of data collecting that Facebook had allowed under an earlier version of its privacy policy. Yeah, an earlier version. Because, when you used to sign up for things on Facebook, it used to be like, hey, you give us permission to access your friends, your contact, to post on your behalf. And I always said, no, you're not going to post it. Now they just say, we're going to have access to your personal information, and that's about it. So it's changed a little bit on Facebook, that's for certain. Such information may have helped Cambridge Analytica create profiles of users so that clients could better target people with political messages. But the FTC's probe quickly expanded beyond the Cambridge Analytica incident to cover a torrent of other privacy and security abuses at Facebook, including the revelation that it had provided popular websites and the makers of some smartphones and other devices with access to user social data without adequately notifying them. Under the FTC's new settlement, the consequences for Facebook could be vast. The tech giant may have to document every single decision it makes about data before offering new products. Okay. Keep closer watch over third-party apps that tap users' information. I agree with that. Well, sort of. I mean, I'd like someone, but I don't know if I trust Facebook to be doing it. And require its top executives, including Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg, to attest that the company adequately has protected privacy. Well, of course they're going to admit that. They have a brand to protect. Facebook had agreed to broad contours of those terms as part of a confidential settlement talks with the FTC, the Post reported earlier this year. The new settlement would go far beyond the 2011 agreement Facebook brokered with FTC. That accord required Facebook to give users greater choice about what happens to their data and inform them more clearly about how their personal information is used. The agreement also required Facebook to submit to 20 years of regulatory privacy checkups from outside watchdogs, though those reviewers never once flagged a major mishap at the company for the FTC to review, which is odd, really, because there's so many of them to flag. The Wall Street Journal first reported details of the FTC's vote. The decision by the commission's 2 Democrats to vote against the settlement could suggest simmering frustrations that the FTC did not go far enough in the fine and other punishments is levied against Facebook to end the probe. I actually kind of agree with that. I mean, $5 billion, that's a drop in the bucket for Facebook. That's the thing about settlements. Settlements should honestly hurt. Like, they should seriously hurt. Like, they should be like, yes, as a company, you can afford the settlement. However, it will stunt you here, so think carefully before you settle. That's what a settlement should do. I mean, my opinion, $20 billion easily should be this Facebook settlement. That would teach Facebook a lesson. $5 billion, they can afford it. If they get caught again in a few years, they'll have made another $5 billion at that point. They could settle again if they want. But the alternative, if Facebook resisted brokering such a deal, could have forced the two sides to go to court in what could have been a bruising legal battle over the social network's giant data collecting practices and the government's ability to regulate them, which, of course, wouldn't look good on them. So, yeah, huge settlement for Facebook. I don't see any picture, so I guess there we go. We'll just leave it there. So, I don't know. This settlement seems very, very inadequate in my personal opinion. I think Facebook still needs to be broken up. I think they still need to be regulated. I'm actually looking forward to the day when the tech monopolies are broken up. I don't believe you need to have Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp and Messenger all in the same umbrella. I believe those can all be separate companies and all would be very successful. I mean, here's the thing. The period where eBay owned PayPal was like one of the worst periods on eBay history because eBay controlled the payment and the listing. Now, eBay was never threatened to be broken up. At least, I don't think publicly they were threatened to be broken up. But eBay realized that, you know what? They were towing that line. They were essentially having a monopoly and they needed to do something about it. So they decided to spin PayPal off into its own company. By the way, PayPal is very, very successful. eBay has opened up all the payment options you can have. It's a much friendlier place to sell on, much more so than Amazon at this point. And PayPal has thrived by being able to expand their business without being shackled to eBay. There is actually good business reasons from both a company and a consumer point of view for these companies to be broken up. Facebook should not have Instagram and Messenger and WhatsApp, especially when they use them all to mine data and then they abuse that data. So I am okay with them being broken up. I think this settlement is problematic because it doesn't really force them to change anything. It doesn't. And I can guarantee you, once the 2020 elections come along, there is going to be conduct of Facebook manipulating the elections again because there's no oversight. And we're just going to have to see what the reaction is. Is it going to take the 2020 elections for the government to get serious about this? I mean, it's really funny because Facebook and Twitter and all these, they can't win one way or the other. If they're not enabling the Russians to elect Donald Trump, then they're censoring conservative commentary. these companies are in a really, really bad position. Anyway, I don't want to get too political, though, so we're going to leave it there. What do you folks think about all of this? Do you agree? Do you think this is a fair settlement, or do you believe, no, this is not a fair settlement, they shouldn't, they should be asked to give more, or they should just go to court? I would love to know. So, comment below. Like, favorite, share, subscribe. If you enjoy my videos, consider becoming a Patreon member. It's totally optional, of course, but even as little as $1 a month goes a long way to helping the channel run smoothly, and you get access to my Patreon's exclusive blog. Also, if gas prices are getting you just a little down, check out the Get Upside app below. It's totally free, and you get cash back on every gas purchases. And finally, if you want to find out more content from me, check me out at Kevin T. Rodriguez and the Apptrepreneur Vlogs YouTube channels. They're different types of videos, however, I think they can still be fun for some of you folks out there. And as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.